Hey, it's Katelyn Tarver, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
I've been trying to get with you for the last year, and you've just been so busy.
I didn't know it was so hard to reach. I mean, wow, I feel so important. I've just been hanging out on my couch. I don't know.
While you're hanging out on your couch, you're kind of writing for people like Old Dominion, who just dropped your new song. Like,
That's true.
talk to me about all of that that's going on right now with you as a songwriter before we talk about your music.
Yeah, no, it's been exciting. I did an episode of Songland, and I filmed that back in like March, April of this year. So March, April 2019. And it was kind of just like a thing I decided to try, like, because why not? And then got on the show, and then it ended up winning the episode, which was crazy. And I was like, oh, great. And then, you know, after we filmed it, it obviously wasn't airing immediately. So I had to like wait a couple months to share the news. But it was really exciting. And they brought me in to work on the song, you know, after we kind of finished. They brought me into the studio to like really help shape the song, like the actual recording, and they let me sing some harmonies on it, which was cool. So yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, you know, I write songs, and I've been writing songs for a while for me, and occasionally another artist will like it enough for them to cut it. But it was cool to have a band like Old Dominion like the song enough to make it their own, and
That's amazing. And like, it's one of those things where like people are starting to get to know who you are and getting to know your music. But like, there's other people like myself where we've heard it way back. Lost Kings, for example, you collaborated with him in 2016, and that was my first time listening to your voice and knowing who you are as an artist. So it's nice that now you get to kind of like introduce the world to Katelyn Tarver, and then they can listen to that Kool-Aid EP, because I'm still bumping that.
Nice.
It's such a great EP.
Oh, thanks.
But you know, talk to me about your music now that you know you just released a new track, Sinking In. So you know, who are you today? Where is Katelyn today as far as like the musician goes?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think my whole like artist journey has been interesting because I've kind of lived in a lot of worlds, because I did the Lost Kings feature, which is kind of more EDM dancey, but I loved the song and it had a lot of fun doing that. And then but even before that, I put out an EP in like 2011, which was like way more, it was songs I had written, but it was way more like organic singer-songwriter. And so I put that out, and I like went on a couple tours back then, and then I took a break and like got signed and was going to make this whole record, and which ended up being the Tired Eyes EP, which came out in 2017, which was, you know, I feel like I've always kind of had this through line of like kind of being rooted in more of a singer-songwriter place, but the productions kind of dressed it up differently. Like I feel like with Tired Eyes it was pop for sure, but I had, you know, You Don't Know and Love Me Again on that EP, which are two kind of like ballad, acoustic, piano songs, and those did really well from that EP. I did like a live video for You Don't Know that now has like almost 40 million views or something, which was totally just out of nowhere, and it kind of just got this life of its own. So that was exciting. And then Kool-Aid EP was obviously last year in 2018, and that one I just wanted to do more of a like straight up pop record. Like that's what I was listening to, that's what I liked. I wanted to, you know, just have like a big fun pop EP. So I feel like I got that with that EP, you know, Kool-Aid and Love You for Life, and all those fun songs. So I played a couple shows on that, and then I feel like now, since I put that out, I've sort of been like, okay, I had Tired Eyes, which was sort of somewhere in the middle of like the singer-songwriter pop thing, and then Kool-Aid was straight pop, and now I'm like, all right, what am I doing? And I think, you know, as an artist, it so much ties into like what you're going through just in your life.
Like what's going on at the time.
Yeah, because, you know, like, it's not just like, all right, what kind of music do I want to make? It's like, you have to be like, what do I want to say? What am I going through? What's my point of view? And I think I've really tried to pay attention to that, especially in the last year. Because, I don't know, I've been inspired by just all the music that's coming out right now that feels very honest and authentic, and like you're getting a real look into someone's life. And I've just seen the power of like hearing a song talking about something that you feel like you're the only one going through it or experiencing it. And it's always such a powerful feeling. And I was like, I love writing more emotional, like introspective, kind of honest, authentic songs. So why don't I just dive into that a little bit? And it, it's not a coincidence that I'm also like getting into my later 20s and sort of like getting into this season of life where it's like, it's crazy. I'm not 19 anymore, and it's different. And
every move you make matters now. It's like you can't get away with it.
Exactly, and it's like the pressure of that starts to weigh on you. And so I feel like a lot of those themes are in my new music that's coming out, and it's been, I don't know if I would call it fun, exploring those themes and having to kind of like look deep into my soul to be like, what's going on? What do you feel? But I think it's important, and I don't know, I want to be able to share what I'm going through, because I think if I am, other people are too, and I know that helps me. So if I can talk about stuff that's going to help make people feel not as crazy or not as alone, then I want to try and do that too. So yeah, I don't know if that,
you gave me everything that I needed for Katelyn Tarver. So for those that didn't know who you were, now they know.
I do feel like the new stuff definitely feels like my most authentic, like honest stuff to date. So I'm excited and a little nervous for it to come out, but it's been the most rewarding to write, for sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm sure. And as you get more honest to your audience, and you, at the same time, you get more vulnerable, like how do you get comfortable doing that in the studio? Is it specific like producers that you can only do that with, or can you do that with any producer that you jump into the studio with?
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't have a huge problem being an open book, but it definitely, I can pretty much tell immediately if you're going to get what I'm saying. Like if I'm working with another writer or a producer that I'm sort of starting to hint at what I'm going through, and they're like, yeah, for sure, I'll sort of be like, okay, I kind of like pull back a little, because I'm like, I don't know if like you get it. But I don't know, sometimes I like to just see what happens and try to be as honest as I can, because I'm like, well, maybe we'll like hit on something. But it's definitely made a world of difference to find a handful of people that I can go in with multiple times, and they kind of already know the spiel and like what I'm kind of currently going through, and I can update them at maybe like an insight I had or some kind of feeling that came up that we can explore in the room. And that's so much more powerful and always makes for a better song than like a brand new write where you're kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just like spiraling all the time. And they're like, oh, what? You are?
Just come in with an open book, just an open, like open your book up and just read that first chapter. You'll understand where I'm at. This is what I want to do.
I'm sorry, this is not your therapy appointment. Like, and I'm like, well, yes, it is actually, and I'm sorry.
You're getting a little deeper into your sessions then.
Right. No, but it's nice. I found a handful of people. Like I wrote Sinking In with Jake Scott, who was also on my Songland episode, and we've kind of like developed this cool relationship with writing, and that's been really helpful. And I have a couple other songs coming out with some collaborators that I'm excited about. So yeah.
So with this song, like what was it about Sinking In that it was, your first listen for new material?
I think it just felt like when we were writing it, we were at Jake's studio and we were working on this like other kind of more poppy sounding track, and me and Jake can get really particular about finding like the perfect melody. So we had gotten this melody and we were trying to put lyrics to it, and we were like, and I was like, I'm just like I'm not feeling it. Like I can't find the words. This isn't inspiring to me anymore. So Jake just got on the piano, and I am always trying to like make myself learn an instrument, and I just don't have the discipline for it. I feel like the older you get, I'm just like, I don't have the like stamina. I know. I know. I can, but like not enough to where I can like sit down. I can play guitar a little bit better, but anyway, he taught me like a little progression on the piano, so I kept playing it, and it felt just like really empowering to like play a couple chords, as dumb as that sounds. But I was like, oh, like this is so fun. And when I was playing, I just kind of started singing the melodies for Sinking In, and it just was one of those moments where it just kind of flowed out. And I was like, I kind of missed like really singing songs, if that makes sense. Like I feel like a lot of kind of what I had been doing was more like rhythmic melodies that were like a little lower, and you're kind of almost talking, and it's, which I like, but we just like went for it. We were like, we're just doing a piano ballad, and it felt really like emotional, and just like it kind of stabbed you in the heart when we were singing it. And I don't know. I mean, we had been kind of talking about like that feeling of, being in a transitional time and kind of what it feels like to lose. I don't know. I feel like it's just a song about loss in a way, and like that can be any type of loss. I think loss of a relationship or loss of a person or loss of a truth that you used to hold dear that you don't know if it's real anymore, like because I think that happens as you get older, like stuff that you could count on or that you thought you could count on kind of maybe goes away or changes. And so I think we were just kind of exploring that idea on Sinking In, and it just felt really powerful, and I just wanted to put it out.
That's awesome. So can we say that more of the material that you're gonna release is more in that sense where it's like you're trying to be more, I don't know if preach is the right word, but I guess just be more empowering to to people out there?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to be more, I don't know, I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, like just more true to myself and trusting my gut a little bit more, like with, because it's so easy to like write a lyric and be like, I don't know, is that relatable? Like, does anyone else feel that? And it's like, usually, yes, they do.
I feel like that's the exact like voice and like face that you make, like when you say it.
It is. I'm like, I don't know, guys, actually this sucks and I'm leaving. But yeah, it's been, I don't know. I've just, tried to be really honest, and it's been really like a fulfilling process. And like, I don't know, I feel like it's really made me fall in love with music again. As cheesy as that sounds, but I don't know, it has, and it's been just really nice to explore these themes and just be like, here it is.
It's good that you said that right now, because I was actually, one of my things that I wanted to know is like, because like you mentioned earlier, you've been dabbling a lot in the music world, whether it's songwriting, whether it's testing out new sounds. You've also been, you grew up on TV, like, so you've kind of done a lot in entertainment. So how do you let all of that, like, how do you not let it change you? And yes, I'm quoting your song from Kool-Aid, but how do you stay, focused?
I don't know. I mean, I think I just try to keep people around me that know me, and I don't know. I feel like I've had success, obviously, and it's been I've gotten the chance to do a lot of cool things, but I definitely have experienced, I don't know, like my own version of like not getting to exactly where I wanted to be, and
we all have that situation.
Course, yeah, and it's good for you to have to like figure out how to handle it and go like, okay, I thought that was going to happen and it didn't, so now like, oh, I guess I'll pick myself up and try this. But I think it got to me a little bit more than I was letting on. I think, like, I mean, everyone, it's no secret, like, you come out here to LA to like chase your dream and try and like make it. And I think that can just be like such a debilitating thought, because it's really not that out here. It's like, because I know people on all across the spectrum, like people who are like would die to have a song released. And then I have people who are like playing huge gigs, and there's like the same sense of like, oh, I want this thing and I want this and I want more, and but I'm not there and I'm not there. So I kind of just, and I was feeling that myself. I was like, oh, but I want to play this venue, and I want my songs to have this many streams, and I want to like, go on this tour. And like, I think everyone is susceptible to falling into just kind of like this negative, just shitty place. Like, I don't know. And it's kind of, and LA can, it's like all what they say. It's a tough city, and I've been here for 10 years now. And like, I've gotten the chance to do a lot of fun acting gigs, but I also go on a ton of auditions for stuff that I don't get. And it's like, whatever. Like, it just is what it is. But I don't know, it can definitely start to weigh on you. And I just tried to channel that into my music and into, I don't know, what I'm trying to create. And as far as staying balanced, I mean, I don't know. I just try to like, I think I try to just stay aware of that and not let myself fall into that hole of like, negativity.
Right.
But it's tough.
It is tough. It is tough, especially when more people start to pay attention to you. I'm sure like you get into your head even more because it's like to them you're doing amazing, but to you you're like I'm not even close to that.
Right.
So
like, obviously you don't want to seem ungrateful. I'm so grateful for what I have, and I like truly have a blast playing a show at the Troubadour. I mean, it's insane, and I recognize that. But I mean, I'm just being honest with like how it can get to you, and like I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess just to make the point of like, I feel like with, not to get on my soapbox here, but with like social media and Instagram and everyone's always posting their life and you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? And like, why am I not in Italy on a like yacht? Or like, why is my song
like 24 hours because I got bored at home.
And I think it's just like important to remember we're all the same. We're all going through the same shit.
Yeah.
And like, we're all dealing with the same like feeling of inadequacy. And I think like, I don't know. I just try to remind myself of that, even though I'm always like, they're not, they're fine. Right. But I think if someone looks at me, they'd be like, oh, she's fine and she's happy. And I am. But I also have my moments too where I'm not. Yeah.
So, you know, now that Sinking In is out, how soon can fans expect more music? Because I mean, I'm one of those fans that is like waiting for another either EP or an album.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to be dropping singles like over the next few months, like every few weeks. So soon. Yeah, and I'm excited for you to hear it. Yeah.
Now, can we expect some more shows from you? Like maybe some tours coming up?
Possibly.
We need artists to take you out.
No, take me out. No, yeah, I would love to play. I'd love to get on the road. I mean, I love playing in LA, but I know I have fans bothering me all the time on social media, like, come somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. But yeah, hopefully soon. Yeah, hopefully some tour news soon.
Nice. Well, I can't wait for that. Congratulations with Sinking In. Congratulations with Songland.
Thank you.
And thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. We got to do this again soon when you drop that album. Anyways, guys, I'm hanging out here with Katelyn Tarver finally. Get her new single Sinking In now, and thanks for watching on Front Row Live.